What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Headspace in the Halls. I'm your host, Ashton, and today we are going to be talking about one of my favorite topics ever. And it is going to be about growing up as an LGBTQ plus member, like in college, and that's pretty cool to me. So today, I got my guest star, a very special person to me, my dearest friend.
Hello, I am Amanda. I go by she, her, and I am bisexual.
Yay! Okay, so let's get right into it.
Okay.
Chaperone, what do we think?
We love Chaperone.
We love Chaperone!
We love her so much. Everyone's like, oh, she's really pretty. I think she looks a little too much like me.
That's
but
true, because of the red hair.
Yeah. If only I had her talent, like, I would be Chaperone if I had her talent. But I
Bro
don't.
would be
But
Chaperone.
I don't. That's the unfortunate thing. So, yeah, her, and then also we had Brat Summer this summer.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
We love Brat Summer.
I do love Brat Summer. Did you see Charlie XCX on SNL? Yes.
Yes.
Love it. Did you see Domingo at the Sabrina Carpenter concert?
Oh my god.
This isn't exactly gay, but
I
this is.
died.
It was so funny.
I was like, what? That was the most unhinged moment
It
of
was
the entire Sabrina Carpenter. Like,
hilarious. Like, the Juno position went wild.
oh my god. Have you ever tried this one?
The ending of, I think, Bad Chem went wild with the curtain.
Oh my god, that was
That was a little
absolutely
gay.
crazy.
But
That was a little gay.
that was a little.
That was a lot of gay.
A lot of gay.
A lot of
Yeah,
gay.
a lot of gay. But yeah,
Can I ask a personal question?
of course you can ask a personal question.
When did you realize that you were?
I was 13. I was at my friend's birthday. And in my friend group, they were like, do you guys want to play Spin the Bottle? And I was like, okay. And remember, we're all like 13. And
Spin the Bottle is crazy at
Yeah.
13?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we all just started like kissing each other. And I was like, wait, why do I kind of like that? Genuinely.
Wait, why do I like kind of vibe with that?
And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gay. And then I was like, but wait, I still like guys. And then I was like, is there a word for that? And my friends were like, yeah, it's called bisexual. And I was like, oh, okay.
Your journey was actually a lot simpler than mine, and I'm a little bit jealous. If you don't mind me talking about myself for a little while.
Talk about
You know, it is my show, so, you know, I'm just gonna...
I'd love to hear you talk about yourself. It's my favorite topic.
That's so gay. So, for me, it was like, I was in private school for my entire life, up until literally 11th grade. And if you want to add anything in here, like, feel free to
Go for
interrupt
it.
me.
Go for it.
It's supposed to be interesting.
I mean, I probably will because that's just what I do. But continue.
So real. I probably will, just because I want to.
Just
That's just me,
continue.
you know?
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, so I was in private school until like 11th grade. So I started feeling like this attraction to women in general. Like, I didn't have a specific gay awakening. Like, a lot of people say that, like, oh, my gay awakening was this celebrity or something. And, like, I didn't have that. Like, I just saw women in general, and, like, I started seeing them in, like, a different light. I was around 12 years old. I didn't know what was going on. You know, hormones were going crazy. So I just automatically assumed that maybe it's just hormones. Like, that's what I thought. But I didn't know. And so, like, I was also talking with my therapist about it, because I had a therapist for, I believe it was mental health in general. Like, I, like, was going through a lot at that time. So I started talking to her about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I like women. And she's like, that's totally fine if you do, but I grew up as a Muslim. If you know anything about Islam, it's the fact that the LGBTQ, out the window. Throw that out the window. Don't even go there. And it's like, you know, I'm growing up in a Muslim school around only Muslim people. They were literally the only people that I used to interact with. Like, I didn't interact with anybody else at all. And it was just like, you know, how am I supposed to tell my parents? That was my first thought. How am I going to tell my parents? And it was hard. But then eventually I came out to my best friend first as bisexual. because I felt like I still had attraction to men as well as women, but I didn't know if there was a word for that, like you said. So I did my own research about it, and I figured out that there is a word for that, bisexuality. So I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like me. And when I came out to my mom actually confused it for, like, I think what she meant was gender fluidity. Because she asked me, she was like, wait, so then what bathroom do you use if you're bisexual? I'm like, no, Mom, bisexual just means that you like both sexes. Bi is two, and then like sexual is like you like both of the sexes. But I can kind of see how like that kind of ties into it, because like, you know, the sexual part of bisexuality is like, okay, pick a side, you know, like, because you know, like on our birth certificate it's like sex female. So that's probably where the confusion came in. But it was a really, really bad experience. I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because I don't want to trigger anybody, but I actually got sent to conversion camp and everything, and it was probably the worst, the lowest point in my life, because I stopped seeing my therapist, because I was at camp, I couldn't leave, I couldn't have visitors, I couldn't have anything. Like, it was basically like the mental institution, just outdoors. Like, you get more outdoors than, you know, and like all of the things that we were being taught was straight. How do you dress as a woman? How do you dress as a man? Like, you only identify as a male or a female. There's no non-binary, there's no in between. So I myself, I didn't think that I was gender fluid back then. I thought that I was always going to be a straight, like gender-wise straight, like female. Like, I was always going to be female. I was always going to use my name, Aaliyah. And then later on, I started looking more into my sexuality. And I fell in love with a trans person for the first time. And I was like, fuck. What do I do now? But then it was more like, maybe there's a word for that too. And then I started exploring more into my gender. And the first time that, and I feel like this is truth for a lot of LGBTQ plus individuals, the first time that I put on a blazer and like a button-up shirt, and I put the tie on and everything, I stole one of my dad's ties. Granted, it was way too big for me, but it worked. And I looked in the mirror for the first time and I was like, I'm gay. I'm not a woman, bro. Like, there is no way that I am just a female. And so I looked more into that. And I'm like, non-binary? Maybe? But then I was like, but non-binary is more like you don't identify with a specific gender. So I'm like, okay, that doesn't really fit. I do identify with a specific gender. It just seems to switch up every day. And that's when I figured out the term gender fluidity. So here, presently in 2024, I identify as pansexual and gender fluid, but I realized I was pansexual back in like 2022, and I came out as gender fluid back in, I think, like 2021, 2022, somewhere there. And then I said, okay, you know what? I'm done changing my identity. Like, I am still Aaliyah. I love that name. It actually means royalty. So why would I ever want to change that? I love that name so much. And then here we are. Like, I started exploring more into like names and like ideas of like different names, and I actually was going to go by Raven, but then I thought about it a little more and I realized that my entire room is decorated in A. The initial A. It's everywhere, all over my room. So it's like, that wouldn't be very smart. Yeah. And all of my like customized jewelry, like I have real like 24 karat gold with A engraved into it. So I'm like, imagine I just change my name from like an A to an R. That would be a huge change.
That would be an expensive change.
Expensive change. So I just decided that I was going to keep the A name. The only problem is, and I feel like you can relate to this, is the fact that there are not many gender-neutral A names.
See, I would totally agree with you, but my name has the word man in it.
But, like, you know, you hear the name Amanda, and you're like, that's a girl's name.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't really fit well with that. So it's like, you know, I wanted somebody to hear my name and think that I'm a guy. Because I'm gender fluid, yes, but I lean more towards the masculine side of myself. Although recently I've been presenting very femme, and I'm sure all my viewers can be a testament to this, is the fact that so far you guys have only seen me in feminine presenting clothing. Sorry, but that's just how I've been feeling lately. But I still go by they, them, even when I am femme presenting. It's just, I don't know, it just fits me better. And I like it. I like it that way. Maybe it's because the guy I'm talking to, he makes me feel more like a woman-ish. Maybe. But I feel like, also, like, I really like style. Like, because I grew up in a private school, I always had uniform. So it's like, now I can get out of the norm and, you know, be stylish.
Yeah.
I could show off a little bit. I could play around with colors because the uniform was a certain color, a certain dress, like, wear everything. All the way down to my socks. It was a certain color. Now I wear all types of crazy socks. I wear all types of crazy shoes. Like, it was like, the uniform, like, part of the uniform was it had to be black shoes without laces.
Oh.
So it was, like, very, very strict in that sense. And I'm like,
you want to know what kind of shoes are black shoes without laces?
oh, God.
Crocs.
That would have been perfect. Why didn't I think of that?
Just
Oh, my
saying.
goodness gracious.
Saying.
I probably would have gotten suspended, though, for that.
Oh.
They would have been like, no holes. Why are there holes in your shoes? But, hey, man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm out of there now. I don't gotta worry about that ever again. But, where I was going with that point was the fact that I feel like there's more ways that you can play around with your outfit with, like, in a female sense. And because my entire closet is femme-based, because I grew up as a female, so all my clothes that my parents bought for me and all my friends bought for me, it's all feminine style clothing. So now that, like, I'm making my own money, I'm, like, you know, getting my own stuff, like, my own clothing, like, I try to get more masculine presenting things. But let me hear more about you. What was your gay awakening?
So it was definitely that.
It was definitely that. Was there, like, anything in music that was, like...
Oh, Haley Kiyoko's Girls Like Girls music video.
God, that was 100%. Good.
I think I was 13 when I saw it the first time, maybe. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
So that was the first time you saw yourself in music.
Mm-hmm.
And pop is so big right now.
It really is.
So that's honestly amazing.
I know where you're going with this.
What?
You should totally tune into my you should totally tune into my documentary when it comes out next semester, which I'm working on right now, called Pride of Pop. And it's going to be great, but you can catch that next semester on King TV.
And I'm in there too.
And they're in there too. Shameless plug, but
shameless plug. Hey, man, I'm not judging. I plugged my podcast in my speech this morning, okay? I am in communications class here at Kane, and I plugged my podcast into my speech.
Communications class?
1402.
Okay, what did you do your speech on?
Why you should take a break from technology.
How'd you plug a podcast into that?
Because last week I was talking about... You guys are making me laugh, okay? Last week I was talking about how during COVID time it was, like, very easy for us to turn to the screen. Mm-hmm. So that's how I plugged my podcast in there. I was like, you guys should definitely check out my podcast called Headspace in the Halls right there on Kane TV.
Nice.
It's gonna come out tomorrow. Nice. And my teacher asked me about it, and she was like, oh my God, you're doing a podcast? I want to hear it. No, you don't. It's for students by students, not by adults
Right.
for adults. Like,
That's fair.
but I do want to ask you, did you ever come out to your parents? Were you ever able to do that?
I did. It was, I think, like 3 days after that sleepover.
Wow.
Sleepover after that that night, that birthday party, and I was like, guys, I remember just sitting at the dining room table, just being like, I gotta tell them, I gotta tell them, and just
Like
being
playing
like,
that in your head.
guys, I'm gay. No, being like, guys, I'm bi, and they were like, my dad like totally was like, dropped his fork and just like looked at me. And my mom was like really mad about it. She like got up and was like, no, you're not. Your friends are making you think that. Whatever.
Oh my god, not the friends.
Yeah.
Not the friends
And my
influence.
sister, who was like 10 or 11 at the time, was like, what's that? And and I'm like, and I explained it to her, and she's like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah. Then we got ice cream. I don't know
We
why.
love that.
We love that. Love that. And then my aunt came over, like 2 or 3 days later.
Did you tell her?
And I didn't tell her. My mom told
Oh.
her for me, you know? And my aunt comes over and is like, I think it's great. Like, I'm not gonna ask you who you're sleeping with. Like, I think it's great. I'm like, hey, I'm 13, but okay. Okay.
Who you want to sleep with is up to you, but I'm 13.
Yeah. But it was really great. She was super supportive and kind of talked my mom into like, hey, it's okay. It's okay that you're
It's okay that she's gay.
Yeah. Gay is okay, you know?
So what I'm hearing for you is, like, from you is the fact that for you it wasn't difficult. Or am I assuming?
It hurt to hear my mom like be like, no, you're not. It's from your friends. But after that,
Like after she got over
and then
that.
after she got over it, she was a lot more. What's the word that I'm looking for?
Understanding?
Yeah.
Accepting and understanding.
Yeah.
For me, it took my mom a good couple years. Because I was actually telling my great friend Junior about it a couple weeks ago or something, that my mom was so horrible about me coming out. Like, she immediately went to religion. And I'm like, we're not talking about religion right now. I want you to be my mother, not my preacher. I need you to be my mother right now, and you're not. You're being a preacher. I understand. I literally go to a Muslim school. That is the only thing that I hear 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's like that is the only idea that has been drilled into my brain. I get it. It's wrong. But I need you to see it from my point of view. So, with that being said, what tips do you have for our viewers that are struggling to come out to their parents?
Only come out if it's safe. Only come out when you're ready. And yeah, you might be ready the next day. You might be ready in 4 or 5 years. And that's cool. No matter what. You don't need to like rush yourself into coming out. Whenever you feel comfortable is the right time.
Absolutely, I agree. And for all of my viewers who might be under a religious circumstance, my best advice is honestly get a job, financial stability, and move out, and then tell them. Because for me, it was the fear of, will they cut me off? As well as, how are they going to react? You know, it wasn't just, yeah, let me tell them. Like, I'm comfortable. Let me tell them. Because I was bisexual for years before I told my parents, and it was like eating away at me from the inside that I'm like, I need to tell them. Like, I had a boyfriend at the time, so it was kind of okay, but that's also not allowed in Islam. Like, you find somebody that you like, and you're supposed to marry them. A man. As a woman, you find a man. As a man, you find a woman. You like them, marry them. There's no dating. You can be friends, but there's no dating. And, like, while that's, like, it makes sense to me because dating, like, when it doesn't work out, it hurts really bad. But then like that also ties into the marriage aspect. That's what I like really didn't get, because I don't identify as a Muslim anymore. I'm kind of agnostic, and for those who don't know what that means, it's basically like I believe that there is a higher power out there. I just don't believe in any specific one or like any organized religion. So that's just how, my belief system is. I don't have anything against any other belief. My only thing is, don't try to shove your beliefs down my throat. And we're good.
Yeah.
We vibe. Yeah. So, Billie Eilish. When in doubt, Billie Eilish.
So much. I saw Billie Eilish live. I was like, oh my gosh.
You saw her live?
Yes.
Shut up. No,
Yes,
you didn't.
I did. She was at Prudential Center.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I wish I knew you then. I would have went.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh.
You saw her live?
Yes.
Shut up. No,
Yes,
you didn't.
I did. She was at Prudential Center.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I wish I knew you then. I would have went.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh. And she did Guess, and she did Lunch, and she did TV, and she did Wildflower. It was like, oh my gosh.
It was like hit after hit after hit.
Hit after hit after hit.
And like, what's really interesting is that Billie got famous at 16.
Yeah.
That is wild to me.
It's like, I think me and Billie are the same age, so it's like.
Billie's 21?
She might be 21 or 22 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was around my age. I'm 19.
No, because I know she's like 21 or 22 or something like that. But yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I assumed her age.
It's all good.
It's not like she's ever gonna see this. I doubt.
Right. She won like 6 or so Grammys at like 16.
Wow.
Or 17 or something.
That is
For
amazing.
When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Which was very interesting. Burying a Friend was very interesting hearing live, because you're standing in a room with like thousands of people.
And it's just.
And they're like, no, and it's like, and everyone at the same time is yelling, I want to end me.
Oh, wow.
And it's very interesting to just
That's-
stand there and be like, huh.
That's lovely, isn't that?
Yeah. Just be like, interesting.
Love
Yeah,
that.
Yeah. But then she did Guess, and everyone like lost their mind. And it was amazing.
No, I saw this TikTok video of Billie performing, Billie and Charlie performing Guess together, and the audience was screaming it, and it was like the comment section was, that's not Billie and Charlie performing Guess, that's the audience performing Guess featuring Billie and Charlie.
Yeah.
Like, it's featuring them, it's not even their song anymore. But no, that was the lyric where Billie said, Charlie likes boys, but she knows I'd hit it. Oh my god, all the Charlies went crazy. It was like, it's a great day to be named Charlie.
Crazy.
Like, goodness gracious. And Charlie XCX is engaged.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
To who?
I don't know, some dude.
Some dude. Okay.
Some dude,
Some
yeah.
dude.
I guess he's alright. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what he looks like,
I
so.
don't know what he looks like either.
I actually heard that from Billie, no, not Billie, Charlie XAX and Troye Sivan. Did you see that TikTok of Troye Sivan and, what's his name? No, Ross Lynch.
I don't think I did.
Oh my goodness gracious, I will send that to you later.
You sent it to me.
He was performing, I don't know if you know the song One of Your Girls.
Vaguely.
So it's like, basically like, I'll be like one of your girls. And he was like, he was doing crazy stuff on stage with Ross.
Yes.
You saw that? Yeah.
It took me a minute, but yes, I did see that. That was crazy. I was like, whoa.
The bravery?
Yeah.
In today's world, the bravery
Right?
that must have took.
Right? Crazy.
Troy, the man you are.
Really? Yeah.
I feel like that's when I like, because for a while I did think I was a lesbian too.
Mm-hmm.
And what got me out of my lesbianness,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing wrong with being a lesbian. It's just for me
Right.
personally, it's like what got me out of that, am I a lesbian? Was Troye Sivan's music video. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like he was on a beach and there was a really, really hot guy in there and he was like thirsting over this guy, basically.
That's crazy.
remember the name for the life of me, but like I think this guy was like a bartender or something, and Troy kept going to that bar, and like he got really, really drunk and made out with him.
I love that.
And I was like, you know, you see a male artist and you automatically think, okay, there's gonna be like a really fine model girl in here, cover girl or whatever.
Right.
And then it was a man. I was like, oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Slay. We love slay all day.
Slay all day.
Slay all day.
Love it.
I need to paint my nails for that. Slay all day.
Yeah.
I can paint yours if you want. We could do a sleepover. She's getting flashbacks.
Not the flashback.
PTSD. Oh my goodness.
No, not PTSD.
It's like flashbacks to the gay awakening. So, I'm glad we had this lighthearted moment, but we do have to bring things back a little bit.
Okay.
So, you came out when you were 13. You are 21 now.
Yes.
How has that changed over the course of between 13 to 21?
Dang, it's been a long time. It's almost like 10 years. That's crazy.
2 more years and it'll be 10 years.
I know. It's almost like it's been 8 years.
Wow.
I did the math.
That's wild. Yeah, I think back to when I came out and it's just like, wow. We have come so far.
And like 13's like really young. Like you don't realize it when you're like a teenager and you don't realize it when you're 13. But like that's like really young. Like you're just like forming a personality.
Yeah, I was talking about that 2 weeks ago on one of my other podcast channels, and it was basically like how the first 10 years of your life, you're like a child. Like, you live with your parents, you are learning from your parents. It's kind of like the baby dolphin and the mama dolphin. Like, baby dolphin swims under mama dolphin to adopt all of her habits, all of her, like, everything. So they are basically a baby version of their mother. And then when they grow older, so for humans, it's like when they reach, like, 15, that's when you just developed your own personality. You just figured out yourself. And then you got, like, that 5-year more age gap where it's like 20, and like, you know that how they say that you have to have it all figured out by 25? Yeah. You literally have 5 years.
Right.
No, not even 5 years, because your frontal lobe isn't developed until you're 23.
I thought it was 25. Is it 23 or 25?
23. Your frontal lobe is developed by 23, and then they want you to have it all figured out by 25. So it's like, how am I supposed to do that when my frontal lobe just developed at 23? And I have 2 years to figure everything out, and if I don't, then I'm a failure. Have you ever thought about that?
Yes. Yes.
Because you look at the lifespan, like the expected lifespan of a human, and it's like 75, 80 years about.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do I have to figure it out by 25? I have 75 years.
Right. I totally understand where you're coming from. But I think, in my opinion, it's less about figuring it out for the rest of your life and more figuring out what you want to do at this pivotal state in your life. So it's less about, like, I have to set myself up for the next 30 years. No. It's more about, okay, I am done with my schooling. I guess it's time to get a job. It's moving out. It's kind of starting your own life on your own. You know, and you also make a lot more decisions at 21.
Oh yeah,
than
that's true.
You do at 18, 19, and 20. I'd even say.
Yeah.
21 in the U.S. is the drinking age, it's the smoking age, it's all of those things.
It's the gambling age.
It's the gambling age, yeah.
It's like you make a lot of big choices, big world choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, reel it back in. Reel it back in.
To what?
LGBTQ stuff.
Okay. So you make a lot more of those choices and decisions. So especially, you know, I don't know when the perfect age to marry is, but when you're looking for partners and stuff at this age, you're thinking more forward.
Like more like, what do I want essentially the rest of my life to look like? Because that person is meant to be your better half. whoever that person is, they are meant to complement you in
Right.
most aspects. Because nobody's perfect.
Right.
Let's be real.
I would also say, like, don't get married till your frontal lobe develops.
Please. Oh my goodness gracious. Right. Please.
Right. And 20, 21, and whatever, I'd say, like, 18 to 21 or 23 is, like, the time for experimentation.
Yeah.
I've never done this before, let's try it. I've never done that before, let's try it. And I don't just mean with, like, gay stuff. I also mean with, like...
In general stuff.
In general.
I've never kissed a girl before. Maybe I should try it. What?
Was that an offer?
Maybe. The viewers are hugging their teddy bears, scared right now.
Scared.
they're looking over at they're looking at their little bisexual flags, being like. But let's reel it back into the because we don't want to bore our audience with.
I don't think we did. This is fun. Can I come back every week?
You want to be my co-star? You gotta be my co-star. We vibe.
We vibe.
So.
We vibe.
I mean, honestly, this is more interesting than me sitting here by myself talking.
Interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, but you were saying about what is that like for you?
So it's a lot of fun. It's also very interesting. Yeah. Trying to think of what to say.
Like how to phrase it.
Yeah.
It's like it's right there, but like you
Mm-hmm.
can't get it into words.
Experimenting is really fun. It's really cool because you're able to try different things that maybe you never tried before. So
She's trying to tell you to kiss a girl. Kiss your best friend. I recommend. The way that you slowly turn.
to kiss your best friend or to not kiss your best friend, like that is.
Are you really best friends if y'all never made out? So okay, let me kind of put words in your mouth here. So just bear with me. Would you say that now that you're older, you've been part of the LGBTQ plus community for a little bit longer, or would you say that it's gotten better or worse?
Better. A lot of people are a lot more open to many, many different things. A lot more people are a lot more accepting. I think sometimes people take it a little too far, but I think that when it comes to accepting people, there's definitely a lot more acceptance.
Yeah, I feel like we've also been able to kind of normalize asking for pronouns rather than just looking at someone and be like, okay, you're a female, so I'm going to use she, her, when they could be trans and they use he, she.
Right.
You never know what a person may identify with. Because you look at me, I look like a she, her all the time, for the most part, but my pronouns are he, they, by default. Because they change based on my gender identity of that day. So I definitely agree with you in that sense. And I really love how pop is so much more open with the gay stuff. I love that so much.
I was in the car with my mom and we were driving home from, I think, Brooklyn. And we had the radio on. It was just, they were playing the top 10 hits. I think I counted was it 6 of the artists? Or 6 of the songs, and they were repeating the artists, were the part of the LGBTQ plus community. I was like, oh my gosh.
The top 10?
Yeah.
All, the entire top 10 was LGBTQ artists?
Not the entire, but 6 of the songs.
6 out of the 10.
It was, Billie Eilish, it was, Chappell Roan, I think Renee Rapp was in there.
Oh, Renee Rapp.
Yeah.
My savior.
Yeah.
So, any closing remarks for our audience?
I don't know. Do you have any closing remarks for our audience?
Experiment, y'all.
Experiment.
You never know. Experiment. Well, actually, consent matters. So don't.
Consent very much matters.
So don't just like
Always.
go crazy with it. Like.
Ask to kiss your best friend before you kiss your best friend.
Are you? Is that your way of asking?
Just telling the audience about consent.
Like, is that your way of asking? And without asking me straight up?
If I was gonna ask you, I'd ask you straight up.
All right.
We got
Well,
the helicopter hand. It's time to wrap it up.
We gotta wrap it up. So make sure you guys tune in same time next week right here on Kane TV. I will see you next time on Headspace in the Halls.